welcome to today's video. This is a tour of the Teacher Business Digital Planner that I created to use for this upcoming year. It is available in my TPT store. I'll have it linked down below. I will also link what I'm using, but this iPad is from 2008, so I think it's the 6th generation, and I also have the 1st generation iPad Apple Pencil, so those both have been updated since then. I'm just still using them. So after the cover, we have this page that you would typically see in a planner. So we have this planner belongs to, I just couldn't resist adding that in, but I also have space for my business name and then my business links. So I'm going to write out like Teachers Pay Teachers, my blog, YouTube, whatever it is, and write out the link here just so I have it, because sometimes when I need it, it's hard for me to find it. That sounds kind of stupid, but it's true. After that page, I have the index, which I'll share more about in a moment. And then I have a page to keep track of passwords. The only place where I really need to keep track of my passwords is in my business, because there's so many different websites that I have to use. I didn't want to list them all out for obvious reasons, but just trying to keep track of it all is not easy. So one of the obvious features that we have is the tabs down the side, one for each month. So of course, if we click on the tab, it will take us to the calendar for that month. And then for each month after the calendar page, there is an overview where you can write out what your plan is for each week. You can list out your big goals, like your top 3. You can do a brain dump of different tasks that you have to do or whatever else you're thinking of. Different content ideas that you have, you could write out here as well. There's also a habit tracker included for each month. And then a budget. So for your budget, we write out the income, so I'd put the date, the description, the amount, so that's whatever money's coming in. And then I could also plan for my fixed expenses, like for example, Tailwind I pay for every month. I'm switching to yearly. I'm just waiting for the new tax year to start. So I would put that down as a fixed expense. Tailwind, Adobe Pro, whatever else you use that you pay for monthly, you can write that in as a fixed expense, and you could do that for the whole year right away. And so of course, variable expenses are anything that comes up that was unexpected. And so down here, we can compare the total income that we budgeted for, what actually came in, the difference between them, and then our total expenses that we budgeted and what they actually cost. And that's the last monthly page. So after that, we get to February, and then they all repeat again. So then we have our February overview, habit tracker, etc. So one thing that I wanted to avoid when creating this planner was having a ton of crazy tabs all over the place. So instead I added these icons to the bottom. So this icon all the way to the left that looks like a book, when I click on that, it brings me back to the cover. This little icon all the way to the right that looks like a calendar takes me to the divider for my quarterly calendars. So here I can see the entire quarter at a glance. So everything's already typed up. This is a dated planner in case you didn't notice on the monthly page, but the dates are already in there, which means that I will have to send out an update. So when you purchase from TPT, check back in December 2021. There will be an update for 2022 with the new dates written in. So here we have the 3 calendars for the quarter and then just lines down the side. So you can add any plan that you want to in there. This is the part that I'm so excited to go through and put information in. Our icon here in the middle is a little compass. And when you click on that one, it will bring you to the index. So your index is separated into some categories. Up at the top, we have these black boxes, and these represent the 6 blank dividers that came in the planner for you to customize. So far I've customized one. I have a divider set up for my course. So when I click on that, it brings me to the course divider page. So I made sure to write in course on top so I know what it is. And then I added some other pages from the planner. So there are blank pages. These are blank page templates. It's a divided to-do list, so you can have different categories. And then the following page after that would be another blank divider. This is one that I have not set up yet, so that's what it looks like before you set it up. And just for added ease, I went ahead and bookmarked this page. That brings me to my course plan divider. Okay, so back to the index. There's also planning pages for daily, weekly, and monthly planning. So clicking on daily brings us to the daily planning pages divider. And here's one of the examples of a daily planning page. You could write out your schedule if that's how you operate. There's a section to write down meetings and appointments, must do, may do, some notes. There's a version here without lines, a version here in black and white, and then we have black and white without the lines. This is a different setup for your daily list. We have your power list, quick tasks, meetings and appointments, and then we have space for planning out the morning, the afternoon, the evening. So this is great if you like to use time blocking for your planning. And then of course we have it if you don't like lines. We have a black and white version that's both lined and unlined. And then we get to the weekly planning pages. So these are based on my teacher to-do list templates that I have available in my store. I love using these, so I needed to make them part of this planner as well. So on the left side you have the brain dump where you can write down whatever's on your mind for the week, and then you can schedule out a power list for the week and put down whatever your 3 most important tasks are for each day. This is a slightly different version. So in my teaching planner I use the version that looks like this all the time, but when it came to my business I changed up my template a little bit to add in space for my top 3 goals, so I can determine my top 3 goals of the week, brain dump any other details that I have on my mind, and then schedule out when I'm taking care of those goals or those tasks. And then we have both templates in black and white as well. And then we have our monthly planning pages. So these are very similar. I have my brain dump, and then I have my 12 months to plan out anything that I want to. And you could of course use the quarterly calendar as well, but if you have other ideas or you don't want to use the quarterly calendar for this part of planning, you have this version to use as well. So we also have that in black and white. And then we have one without the brain dump, which gives you more space to write on the lines for each month. So the next section in the index is the big picture planning. And there's only one page for each of these, and they will link directly to the page. But if you click here, it will bring you to the divider. So first we have the visions and goals. You can plan out or just have a vision for where you want to be in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years. There's a page just for positive affirmations, so whatever positive affirmations you have, you can write inside of the boxes here. Then there's a brand planning sheet, so we have my why and my mission, so I can write out whatever that is here, and if I wanted to add or elaborate on that, which I do, I just wanted to put something quick here for the video. I have my niche. I actually have 2, which isn't unusual, but I do. I have my brand values, which I'm in the process of figuring out right now. I'm going to list out my brand fonts here, and then my brand color codes. This I need so bad. I have them listed on Google Keep, but it's still such a hassle to get to them. It'll be so much easier when I have my color codes all written out in my planner here. And then we have planning for your ideal customer, so you can put down their profile, like if you give them a name, any details about them that you'd put here, like anything fun that you use in your content to help relate to your ideal customer, you'd put there. Here's for their pain points, so whatever it is that you are working on, you can write here. Their needs and wants, that might be a little bit separate from pain points. And then how do I serve them? So then here you can take all the information that you've put together here and formulate what your plan is for your business. And then here we have your keyword research tracker. So when you're looking for your keywords to use when you're creating content, you can write down your keyword here, the search volume, the search difficulty, and then whatever notes you might have about that word. And this page you might want to duplicate, and if I were to click this plus sign up here, it gives me the option to add the current template. So I would click here and it would add an additional page. It looks exactly the same as this one. And then after your keyword research, we also have a project planner, so you can say what your project is, what date you want to finish it by. You can put down your milestones to complete it, whatever steps you need to take, if there's any deadlines associated with that step that you are on. I also included a launch planner, and I'm launching a course for the very first time. So after that, in our next edition of the planner, this will be fleshed out much better. But right now I just have a section to plan out launch runway, the pre-launch, and the launch. The next section of the index is the sales trackers. So there's 5 pages in this section. There's a sales tracker for Q1, and this is mainly meant for Teachers Pay Teachers, but you could use it for anything else that you like. There's one monthly sales tracker for each quarter. And then there's a sales tracker that's an overview for each quarter. So you have Q1, 2, 3, and 4. And then through the index, we could link to any of these pages directly too just by clicking on their titles. So down here we have 5 separate sections. I did not envision anyone needing to go directly to specific pages. So if I want to go to my product planning pages, I'll click here, and then the divider page comes up. So any of these that I really want to have access to, I can always click that bookmark up there and it'll bookmark it for me. I could also go ahead and move these to a different section and have them be in one of my custom dividers. So the first one is product ideas. So I've just written down products that I'm currently working on. And then there's a checklist. So the first step is to plan the product. The second step is to draft it. A third step is to edit it. A fourth is to list. And then the fifth is to promote. So as I go through the process on these, I'll be checking off those boxes. Then I have a product planner template, so I can keep track of my keywords, the price, the title, if it's a print, digital, or other kind of resource. Whatever my idea is, I can flesh out here. Then I have a to-do list and a little checklist of all the steps I need to take, like the copyright, securing it, making cover, thumbnails, preview, description, pins and promotions, and actually posting the product. I have the same one again, just with lines. I really like having lines personally. I know not everyone does. That's why I try to include both when I can. And so the next template is a product line planner. So I can write out what my idea is here, the title, the keywords, and then just break it down for each product. So there's product number 1. I'll put here the title, the anticipated release date, and whatever idea I have around product 1. So products 1 through 8 are here. And then I have space for up to 16 products and then notes down here. And then I also have a template for product updates. So I can say which product it is, what I want to do to update it, and then there's a checklist. So I have to update the file, re-upload, etc. And this is another one of those templates. Like, I'm sure that I'll need more than 3 of these. So if I go up to the plus sign up here, I'm going to click current template just to duplicate this page. And then we have product updates again, but with lines. The next section is the social media planning pages. And for this, I just kept it very, very simple. So I'll put out what week it is. I only run social media on Instagram, Facebook, and my Facebook group. And so Sunday through Saturday, I can go through and figure out what I'll be posting to which account. The additional templates here are just adding in more space in case you have additional social media outlets that you use. So I only use those 3, but if you had 4, there's this planner, there's 5 here, there's 6 here. Our next section is the email planning pages and trackers. So it seems that email is something that most teacherpreneurs struggle with. So I wanted to make sure that I included an outline to help you all with planning out your emails. So there's a space for your subject line, the date that you're sending it, a checkbox for when it's drafted, when it's scheduled, your main points you can outline here, links, any ideas for images or GIFs that you want to add, a call to action, and then notes. And then we have the same template again, but with lines. And then we have email stats to track, so you can put down the title or subject of your email here, the date that it was sent. You can add the deliverability rate, the open rate, click rate, your subscribers at the time of the email, the number that unsubscribed, and your list growth. I also added in opt-in trackers, so you put the title of your opt-in here, and I have several opt-ins, so this would be a page that I need to duplicate. So then you can keep track for each month. You have your number of subscribers that subscribe to that opt-in, the number of views for the month, the conversion rate, and then any other notes you have. In our next section, we have the long-form content planning. And so here we have a blog outline, so you can keep track of your keywords, call to action, title, key points, any notes, image or pin ideas, your links. There's a checklist at the bottom to go through your process of completing a blog post. There's a lined version of that same template. And then there's a similar template if you use YouTube. And then our last section is the blank checklists and pages. So here we have a 2-column checklist, a 1-column checklist, and then we have a completely blank page. This page is super important. If there's a template that you use personally that's not here included in this planner, you can add it here. As long as you can get a picture of it, you can go to the images here, and then you could add it in. So this is like an Instagram post I did recently, just as an example. But just me clicking up there adds it in. I can resize it, move it around. So you can add whatever else you need to this planner by using the blank page. just make sure that before you do anything, you click up here and add another blank page template so you don't use your only blank page. Although if you did, it's an easy fix. If you click here, even if there's something on the page, it will still add a completely blank page right after it. There's a lined page. I use these the most frequently. Like I said, I really like lines, so I'm always making lists and sketching out ideas on pages like this. I also included a version where the lines are gray. For me, it's easier for me to see the gray version, so I use that one. This is the template that I used in my course divider. It's just a lined page, but it's divided into 4 quadrants, which makes it easy if you wanted to make a to-do list that's more categorized. That's what I was using it for. Then there's a grid and a grid in gray. So that was my Teacher Business Planner tour. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.